Hey everyone, welcome back to another NHL 2023 franchise mode video. Hope you are all doing great. A lot has happened since the last video. In the last video, we were making moves around the trade deadline, and since then we've had the playoffs, the draft, signing season, and free agency. So I didn't really make a video for a lot of all of that stuff. Basically, I haven't made a video since the trade deadline last year, so let me get you up to speed on everything that happened in nitty-gritty detail. So we simulated through the playoffs, and this team did pretty good. Let's see if I can show you guys the standings. So we finished third in the division, and in the playoffs, we made it all the way to the Western Conference Final, which was pretty awesome. After that, we had the draft. Now, something I was pleasantly surprised by was that we had a top pick in this draft. So, at the beginning of last season, I made a trade to the Pittsburgh Penguins. I traded them Austin Matthews, who I'd signed in free agency a couple of years earlier using all of the cap space that I had. I traded him for two top-tier prospects and a first-round pick. Now, the Pittsburgh Penguins absolutely bottomed out that year, or last year, and they came second last in the league. Unfortunately, they lost the draft lottery and were bumped down to the 4th overall pick. So that ended up being an incredible trade for me, because not only did we net two top line players. Let me see if I can show them to you. We got a player named Livingstone here, who's an 85 overall at 19 years of age, medium elite. And we also got Galiev, who is 21 years old, right D, medium elite. So we got both of those players, and we got the 4th overall pick, which we were able to turn into this player here. Raymond Eberle. So Raymond Eberle is a 5'9", left D, medium elite potential, age 18, with a ton of superstar abilities. So this is a short player, but this player is going to be pretty electric should they pan out. Now, moving on to free agency, in order to create cap space, we had to deal away Victor Hedman, which really was unfortunate. But last year was our window. Well, was part of our window, so we had to make do with him, and then we had to get rid of him in order to create cap space for this year. So, I mean, this is still part of a little mini window here where we have a lot of our best players on ELCs, but we've basically replaced his cap space with some other short-term commitments. So anyways, we traded Victor Hedman for a couple draft picks, I think a 2nd and a 3rd round draft pick, and I think we got a center back. So we were able to get, let me see if I can find this player here. These are in the system in the main roster. We were able to pick up C. Misa, who's an 83 overall, 19-year-old center. So this player will probably be playing on our team. So in today's video, we're going to continue sorting out the roster for next year, and then we'll probably simulate up to the first month of the season to see what we've got. And right now, I also want to maybe figure out our positions and our depth here. So we have insane center depth for this season. So we have Dylan Strome, who's really thrived playing on this team, and has moved up to an 86 overall. So we have Jesper Bakovist, who I intend to play wing. Ryan Johansson, who I think will be a 4th line center for the team. And then we have our two young players here in D-Ling and M. Misa. So I want to create some opportunity to have them play probably in a 2nd and 3rd line role in order to develop. And then we have Bedard and Pettersson, who are kind of the cornerstones of this team here. Now, we re-signed Bedard, who is in 91 overall at age 20, to a really long-term deal. So I have this player for 8 years at $9 million, which is quite a steal, I think, considering what they might ask for. And then we have Pettersson on a long-term deal as well for the next 6 years at $9 million. Now, I signed a couple other players this offseason in order to eat up some cap space. So in classic... in my classic style of management here, these are all players on 1-year deals. So I signed Laine, who's going to play wing for us for 1 year at $12 million, just to eat up some cap space. Now, I think the real tricky thing for this year is that because this is the last year that I have a lot of these prospects on ELCs, I might not make any mid-season trades. Like, we're going to try and win the cup this year based on the window that we've got. So we have Laine eating up some cap space. And then, I signed Jesper Bakavist to a 1-year deal as well. About $4 million. Johansson on a 1-year deal. Alex Tuck on a 1-year deal as well. So we have depth for sure, and then it looks like we're gonna try and play some of our younger players that we're playing in the AHL in wing roles. So we want to create some opportunity as well as trying to win this year. And then last but not least, actually, we also signed Thatcher Demko. So we've been playing with atrocious goaltending for most of my campaigns, but I signed Demko to a 1-year deal since we're really going for it. Now, I'll give you guys a look at some of the prospects that we drafted last offseason. Or sorry, not in the offseason, at the draft. So a huge chunk of our draft picks were spent on goalies. So I drafted 3 medium elite goalies, which is awesome. So we got Landeskog, this guy, and this guy. And then we have 2 medium elite goalies that are going to play in the AHL this year. So hopefully one of these guys will be able to take over for Demko. Or I'll consider re-signing Demko after that. But I think a thing that I need to think about for next season is how much cap space we are going to have in the following year, because that's going to determine whether I can keep Quinn Hughes or not. So if we take a look at... sorry, where am I? Okay, in the system, we want main roster. So I've tried to re-sign Hughes, and I'll show you what that looks like. So right now, Hughes wants a minimum of $12.5 million. And he only gets more expensive the more term you try to give him. So if you try to give Hughes a 3-year deal, he wants $15 million. At age 26, he's still a good player. Now, as much as Hughes is a great player, we just simply can't afford to pay him that. He becomes inefficient. So the thing about managing sports teams is that it's an efficiency contest. If you have inefficient money, then you can't build as good a team as you would like. So we're going to have to find a way to potentially try to keep him if we can afford it next season, or we have to move him now. And we have to move him now potentially because the off season is when teams are going to have the most cap space available. As soon as you get to the season, teams have committed to cap, meaning you're going to have less potential trade partners. So we need to work out in this video how much money we are going to have in the next off season, and basically figure out whether we can keep this guy or whether we have to deal him now. So we'll start to calculate all that. In order to do that calculation, we basically need to see if we can get our cap situation sorted out for the following season. So I'm debating whether I want to commit to this Livingstone player here. I mean, this is actually not bad. So I've tried to re-sign this player multiple times here, and I like this. So $7 million for 5 years. If I try to give him 6, Okay, this is good, actually. I've been trying to re-sign Livingston for a while, and Livingston's been asking for too much. So if we can get him at 7 million for 6 years, that's going to be a good deal. So we'll try and put that out there. Now, yeah, these are the rest of our commitments here. So what we'll do is we'll simulate a bit. It would suck to lose Hughes, but at the same time, it's not really the worst thing because it opens up roster space to allow some of my young D to play. Okay, so Livingston has re-signed. So we've got a lot of cap that we're committing to in the previous season. So now that Livingston has re-signed, let me show you the books for the 27-28 season, so the season after this. So all of a sudden, we have a lot of players that are getting large deals. So Dodonov, my 21-year-old right D, I've committed to him for 8 years for $8 million. Galiev is an 84 overall. So this is a real gamble. I'm committing to this player $7 million for 8 years. Livingston, $6 million for 7 years. Dealing, I committed a 1 year deal at 5.525. So I want to see whether this player is going to progress or not. So that's maybe a little bit of a gamble. And then Tanabe here. So this was an interesting bet. I committed to, well, they have 1 year left on this deal on their ELC, and then I committed to them for like 6 years or something like that at 2.9. So I'm hoping that that ends up being an efficient deal because Tanabe seems to be improving at a rapid rate. If they improve to anywhere around 86 overall and they're playing for $3 million a year for the foreseeable future, that's really going to help me win because that's going to open up a lot of cap space. And then we have Minchikov still at 2.2, which is also pretty decent. So let's try and... I'm going to try and re-sign Hughes again, like something that can happen. I don't want to... So we're going to try and commit for 5 years. I'm going to just keep lowballing him because something that can happen is that if you keep trying to make an offer, eventually they will lower what their ask is. So I'm going to try and offer him like 8.6. He's going to reject it, but then we're just going to keep trying, and we'll see if we get a better proposal from Hughes. So we'll advance day. No, we do not want to make that trade. Advance day, advance day, advance day. Wait, I didn't read that, but I think he declined my offer. Yeah, okay, so he declined it. So let's see what happens if I offer him a contract now. All right, so it doesn't really seem to be budging, but we'll try again. We're going to try and offer him, yeah, in the 4 years at 8. Will he accept? I doubt it. And also, what does a Dylan Strome extension look like? So here's a player that has gotten too expensive. So we can keep this player. I mean, I think we want to. I think we're all in on next season. As much as these players might expire, we want to go for it. This is the year that we try to win the cup. Yeah, okay. So he's not biting. Now, in terms of extension dollars remaining, it's not clear, but it says we have $21 million in cap space. I guess that means that we're going to have $20 million in cap space after this season. So we could commit to re-signing Hughes for the season after this, and maybe that would be the play, actually, if we can afford it. But maybe something that we can explore at least is the idea of a Quinn Hughes trade. So what would that look like, and what could we get for him? So maybe what we'll do is let's do a little bit of window shopping. Something that I like to do is take a look at what is available on other teams. Just taking a look at their depth chart, basically, and taking a look at their assets to see what they can trade. So we look for just players, like we can look for roster players that are on efficient deals. That could be a smart idea. So taking a look at this team here, like Zegras is on a really nice deal, to be honest. Well, only 2 years remaining, so that's actually not great. Like, if you can find a cheap player with a ton of term, that's a player that you want to trade for. If we look at their rookies, yeah, they don't really have a rookie worth trading for. So Anaheim is not really a good partner. Arizona, again, not a lot of rookies. We'll look at all of their skaters. So, I mean, we don't really need forward depth, but okay, so a guy like Geeky's got 1 year left. We'd be looking for an ELC player with, say, 2 years left, 3 years left. That'd be the kind of player that you would want to trade for. The Bruins. Yeah, so nothing too exciting there. The Sabres. So they have a franchise player here who is an RFA. So this player is probably looking, I mean, we don't really know what they're looking to get back. So here's an interesting deal. Like if we traded Quinn Hughes for Owen Power, that would be a good deal. At least that would be a good short-term deal, because Owen Power is basically just asking for 7.6, or sorry, has a $7.6 million contract. In fact, this is actually a deal maybe just worth making now. And this gives us, so they have 3 years remaining on this deal. Oh wow, I'm very tempted by this. Darlene, 2 years left. I mean, you'd like that, like they would have more term, but this is a better player on a cheaper contract. So it's kind of hard to, honestly, it's kind of hard to pass that up. So we'll keep Buffalo in mind. Okay, then they have a medium elite potential forward. I mean, if we can get Clark Caswell as well, that'd be amazing. So Buffalo is an excellent trade partner. The Calgary Flames. Yeah. So there's nothing from the Flames that I want. These players are all too old. Yes, Svechnikov on a $7.6 million year deal for 3 years. That's pretty nice. Or Nakash, 2 years left. Okay, who's this Kuleshov player? Ruslan Kuleshov, 6'3". 2 years left. Okay, so this is interesting. I mean, do they have the cap space to do this deal? Is the question. So I think they do. And actually, does Buffalo have the cap space? So okay, so that's a problem. Well, no, but we would be switching some money, so we can probably make that happen. Yeah, but the Blackhawks are an intriguing trade partner as well, because I like this young player that they have. Kuleshov, and they have Benson. How much term is left on Benson? Okay, so we could, I mean, we don't really need forward depth, but we could attempt to trade Hughes for Kuleshov and Benson. I mean, it's probably just going to be one of the two. Yeah, man, we're going to get some value here for sure. Oh man, that's tough. Okay, so we'll have to keep thinking about it. And they even have this Korchinski guy, so let's take a look at the Avs. Cale Makar, 9 million. I don't think that we are going to be able to afford. Yeah, we basically can't afford to make that trade. That's our cost. Okay, Bowen Byram, 3-year deal at 5.8. Left shot D. Yeah, that's intriguing as well. Very intriguing. That could be a really good trade for Hughes. But do they have the cap space? He's got no X Factor abilities as well, and I like that Owen Power is just like massive. I mean, these guys are they're totally over the cap, so we might not be able to even trade with the Avs. Bakvist. Yeah, okay. The Stars. Yeah, Heiskanen is good at 90 overall, and with 3 years left. It's kind of comparable to... I mean, Owen Power is still going to be the better player, I think. Yeah, Detroit doesn't really have anything that I want. We've kind of fleeced Detroit. Yeah. Not really much from the Oilers. The Panthers. Okay, 88 overall at $6 million clip for 4 years. It's not bad. Something that we can do as well when we get a little more cap committed, we can try to make more swaps of even guys that are mainstays on our current roster. These guys, it's nothing on the Kings. So, for example, if we have a player like that Livingstone guy that I signed, if that player doesn't work out, we can always flip that asset for something cheaper. We have so many sweeteners that I'm pretty sure that we can make really any trade that we want within reason. So Slavkovsky here, $7 million a year for 1 year. So we don't trade for that player because that there's no certainty. There's no cost certainty. 84 overall, left winger, age 20. So, yeah, I mean, these are old players. Tolvanen on a 6-year, $6 million a year. I mean, the thing is as well is I think a lot of the players on my team are going to improve. So even though they're getting paid as much as these guys, they're not quite as good right now. They're going to improve. But I think looking at this makes me think that like no matter what, we should just trade Hughes. Like we can improve. And Jack Hughes, $8 million a year. I mean, this is a good player, but this is kind of comparable to... He's only got 4 years left as well. It's actually not that... Really got to try to avoid the names. The Rangers. Yeah. I mean, we're looking to... I think I want to get a D back. I think that's important to just replace Hughes, basically. Okay, Brandstrom, 90 overall for $5 million. Left shot D, only 1 year remaining though, so they bridged him. And Sanderson, 88 at 7.3. Yeah, again, I'm still drawn to, because we have a small, like a lot of our D are small short. We have a lot of short players. So I think getting a guy like Power kind of gives our defense something it doesn't have, which is just this like towering dude. And you can see I traded Matthews to this team and they suck. The Sharks, I don't think they're going to have anything good. The Kraken. Okay, well, Shane Bright, 7.2. I mean, that's roughly comparable to what we pay our players anyways, so it's all about that cheap and efficient labor, guys. All about that cheap and efficient labor. And we can start looking at players in the middle of the lineup as well later on. When we're really trying to save money, it's really going to come down to every dollar, because every dollar leads to another player that we could sign. When we're trying to just go year after year maximizing our roster, those are the kinds of little moves and little things around the margins that are going to really put us over the top. And I mean, I think we're in that phase now. I mean, if the team made the cup final last year and has made the playoffs the year before, like I think we're ready in our window, more or less. So Jay Ladd, yeah. So the Golden Knights, nothing we really want, and then the Capitals, yeah, nothing as well. Okay, so I think let's think about it again. So we'll take a look at the Blackhawks prospects. So they have Kuleshov and Benson. So we could trade for 2 forwards. Now the thing is, we already have a ton of forward depth. So, yeah, I mean, this player is intriguing for sure. We have a ton of forward depth. I mean, we're a little weak on the wings. So let's think about this for a second. So that was a left winger prospect. So I want to look at our defensive depth. Right now, we have, yeah, so our left D depth, basically if we lose Hughes, we're not really going to have a left D that can step in and play. Like basically, Minchikov goes up to our first pairing, which is not ideal. And then in the system, we have a replacement in hand, but yeah, I think we kind of have to keep a D. So maybe we can get that Russian winger from the Blackhawks in another deal. But let's target Owen Power. All right, so we need to take back some more salary. So if we're going to take back some salary, let's try to pry something that they don't want, that they're trying to get rid of. This is going to be a hard trade to make, to be honest. Maybe we can pry away. Gosh, Jeff Skinner is really messing this team up. So ideally, we wouldn't have to take any money back. Oh gosh. Maybe Krebs on a 1-year deal at 2.7. Will this balance it out? This is really tough because this basically limits how good we can be this year if we make this deal, just because their cap situation is so bad. I mean, maybe we can try to flip Matheson. So if we take Matheson back, let's try this. So we're just going to hope that we can flip Matheson. But if not, Matheson has 1 year left. So will they do this straight up? Okay, so now let's try to add some sweeteners. So we're going to look at our infinite pool of rookies here. So I would consider trading them Leo Carlson, because I don't think Leo Carlson is panning out at this point. And we'll see if that does it. So they reject that trade. So that's the thing as well about having a lot of draft picks, is that these are basically the sweeteners that help to get the deals across the finish line. So we're looking for players that, relative to their age, how good are they? So Lekaramaki seems to be a bust. So they don't know that. Okay, so they still reject that trade. I'm trying to get rid of Gunler, so let's see if we can... Is that the thing that gets the deal across the finish line? This is a player that we've been grooming, so maybe, as much as it sucks to lose that D depth, let's see if they'll take this. Okay, so this is a hard one to get across the finish line. Okay, will they take a third? Look how many picks I have next year. I have like 6, more than 6. I have 7 third-round picks. Like the entire third round next year. How about a second? So since we are contending team, I can take away that asset, but we're contending team, which means that our first round picks are a little less valuable because they end up being like late firsts anyways. So we'll try a 2032 first. So it seems like we're paying a lot here, but Owen Power is the significantly better asset because Owen Power costs basically $5 million less than Hughes. Okay, so they reject that trade. So, I mean, that being said, that's for 2... I don't know. If it doesn't work out, then we can always trade Owen Power in the future as well. Yeah, this is tricky. I could give them one of our good goalie prospects. Like, How about Landeskog? Landeskog is a bit old. Wow. Okay, so they're really not biting on this. Okay, really not biting. Let's see. I'll offer them my second, because that's basically going to be a third-round pick next year. Yeah, they're really not going for this. Damn. This is crazy. Oh, man, I didn't expect this to be such a hard trade to make. So we'll go Carlson, Landeskog, a first, Lekaramaki, and Hughes for Owen Power. Are they going to do it? Yeah, I guess they really don't want to trade Owen Power. Yikes. I mean, we... Okay, so maybe let's look at the Blackhawks. Like, I feel like we're gonna have to overpay in order to get that player. So let's see if we can. As much as I don't want to go and basically weaken my defense, I don't know if we really have a choice. Just for fun. See if they will do it for both. No. Okay, so I always try to see if we can get a little bit more back before making the deal. So I want to see if we can get like a draft pick as well for our troubles. Let's see. Will they do it for a first? You never know. I mean, it seems like it's obvious that they wouldn't, but it's worth trying. So I want to get a second at least. So for Kuleshov, an elite left wing prospect here. We don't have a ton. Like we've got. All right, so they're not down. Can we do it for? I mean, I think their player is worth a little bit more. Straight up. Okay, so just like that, we have traded Hughes for a prospect. So this is going to be an interesting season because we're giving a lot of opportunity now to some of our young D. And we'll see how this works out. So I think what I want to do here, yeah, so one of these D is going to have to play the left side. 1, 2, 3. We only have 4 D. So in the system, I think we can offer a contract to Eberle here. So this is a risk, but I think I want to try and have this player. Well, actually, hold on. A lot of thinking here. All right, so let's look at our left winger depth. So on the main roster, we have a lot of good wingers. We're pretty set now. Right wingers, yeah, we have Line, Alex Tuck, Podkolzin. So I think we can try to trade for a D. Also, let's get rid of Perot. We don't need Perot anymore. That's just dead cap. Maybe what we can do... Yeah, this is sketchy. Our defense isn't what it used to be. I'm thinking maybe we can consider trading for a D, like basically swapping some of our forward depth for defense. Let's just quickly do a little bit of roster pruning here, though. So Perot, originally acquired in the JT Miller trade that I made. I mean, I don't really want a prospect. I think I just want draft picks. So, yeah, we'll send Perot to the Senators for a third and a fourth. Unless there's somebody offering a second. Yeah, we don't want any cap commitments. The Ducks are too good. Actually, Chicago round 4 in 2028, it's probably going to have some value here. So we'll accept this trade. Okay, just like that, we created some more cap space. I mean, another play that we can actually do, so we're probably actually near the cap floor. I mean, what free agents remain? So if we look at UFAs. Okay, so the free agent market is pretty much dead. And yeah, this is tough. To be honest, like we probably should have kept... I don't know. We're not done. So we'll take a quick break and pick up in a second here. We're going to look to trade for a D, an established D, using some of our forward depth. And yeah, I think we'll be good to go from there. Okay, this is a bit crazy, but I think we're going to make a play to try and upgrade our D. So I think first off, we need to look into the D market to see what is out there. So we liked Owen Power before, but the cost of trading for him was like way too expensive. So we're just going to take a look at the D again real quick. So cheap and young D on good deals. Like, man, Owen Power, that's the player we want. And Okay, so I think we're going to try and trade for Byram. So Byram will immediately be our top pairing D, our Quinn Hughes replacement, basically. So I think that we're gonna prune from our center depth a little bit. I mean, if I can obtain this player without trading any of our key prospects. I mean, if there's one prospect I'm willing to trade, it's maybe, I don't know, I don't like Livingston for some reason. I guess because they don't have a superstar ability, which is kind of dumb. I mean, Dawson Ling is only 20, so I shouldn't give up on that player so fast. This is an intriguing prospect. I have a 6'3" center that I drafted in the second round last year who has a ton of X factors. Maybe now is the time to sell on Dylan Strome. I will offer you Dylan Strome, Leo Carlson. Okay, we have to take a skater back, so we'll just take some junk back. Somebody to play up in our AHL lineup. So I'll trade you Dylan Strome and Leo Carlson while they do this. I didn't expect them to. Now, it kind of sucks to trade Strome because Strome is a good player now. I mean, we could trade out a left wing, actually. Like, we could trade out... We basically have 5 left wingers. I mean, we have so many left wingers. Yeah, we could trade out Hoglander. Maybe that would be the smarter move, actually. Okay, so we're going to try and move out Hoglander instead and keep Strome. Let's see if they do this deal. And we have goalie depth. So let's see if we can move out. At least we have goalie prospect depth. So let's see if we can move out this Landeskog guy who's a 58 at age 20. We'll see if they bite on this. So I will offer you my first this year. So again, I think it makes sense to trade out your picks at this point, because again, we're trying to contend. All right, so they won't do it even with a first in there. And I'll give you my third as well. Will that do it? All right, so again, they're not really biting on this. I guess real disinteresting. I would never trade for this. Here, I'll give you a D prospect. Sure. I'll give you a D prospect in return. What do you think? Rejected. Okay. Yikes. So it looks like they want to... We'll strip this down to the foundations again here. Like maybe another rookie skater. J-Cuff. Yeah, I'll give you guys J-Cuff. How about that? Karamaki. Oh boy. Okay, this is tricky. Tricky. I mean, that's a right winger that I want to give opportunity to. I can't believe they didn't take that deal. Okay, let's try it again. Hoglander. All right, let me look at our center depth again. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to trade one of my centers because I think our centers are set for the foreseeable future, really. Yeah, man, I don't want to trade that player. Okay, let's try this tact. Because I also have to be careful with getting to the cap floor. I'm going to see if I can just throw draft picks at them. So will you do it for... We're going to actually try to keep Hoglander as well. I will offer you this elite goaltender. And I will offer you my first in 2032. So 2 firsts. How about that? And how about a 3rd round pick? And how about another 3rd round pick? Because I have so many. Still not biting. Okay. Now, what if I offered you... where's Leo Carlson? What if I offered you Leo Carlson as well? How about this for a trade? Still no. This is insane. Draft picks. I'll offer you my 2nd next year as well. So 2 firsts, a 2nd. Okay, this might seem like madness, but I'm actually going to be willing to offer them 3 firsts for this. The thing is, I don't plan, like, these are just going to end up becoming early second round picks. It's not a big deal, especially we have such a loaded prospect system. Well, they still don't go for it. I guess the patient move then. I guess the patient move will be to promote from within and take a step back on defense a little bit, which sucks. Whoops. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So I'm going to promote from within here. We're going to sign our draft pick from last year. So we're going to sign Eberle here and hope that Eberle can play on the main roster. So now that should give us 6D for next season. 2, 3, 4. Well, that'll give us 5D. Still not ideal. And then we'll play 1 rookie. So at the very least, our forward depth is insane. And we keep the assets, which is not a bad idea. Did that player sign or what? What's going on here? Okay, I guess Everlay must have signed. Yeah, okay, I just kind of spaced out. And then we're going to play that other top prospect in a role on the big club here. So let's simulate up to the start of the season, and then we'll take a look at our roster going into this year. What is going on here? Getting so many trade offers. No, we don't need forwards. Yeah, I'm making a video. Okay, so let's take a look at the roster now. So this looks pretty good. Okay, so we've got some development too, which is amazing. So these are interesting lines. This forward group is crazy. So this left wing that I drafted for some reason is playing center, which doesn't make much sense. So I think what we can do is maybe put this player on the top line, and then we could put Pedersen on the third line. That makes for an interesting mix. This group is crazy. Okay. And now let's look at our defense. Yeah, that's how I would draw it up as well. So we're putting Mintyukov on the first line, basically. Hopefully that player kind of breaks out. So our defense is definitely our weakest part of the team. But let's look at the forward group again, because the forward group is really insane here. So 85, 91, 88 overall. I mean, I guess these guys aren't that good yet, but there is a lot of depth. And they all, with their abilities, all kind of interact well with each other. So we have to not, like this fourth line, could be a second line on some teams. If we look at our defense, let's look at the AHL squad again. So, I mean, these guys are not really improving a whole... I mean, this guy's still 20. We could make space for Haltinen, actually, on the main group. Let's take a look at the defense real quick here. So the defense is not bad. So we're playing a lot of our better prospects now on D in the AHL squad, which I like. And then if we look at our goalies in the AHL, they too have improved a bit. So that's a good sign. So I want to take a look at the NHL winger depth again. I mean, this is pretty good. Maybe we'll hold. So anyways, that is the team going into the next season. I think we've got a really strong forward group here. With all... Okay, we got one right-handed centerman as well. I think we've got a really strong forward group. Our defense is just decent. I mean, we have pretty much all left-hand shot players on this team, more or less. Okay, Connor Bedard is a right-hand shot. I think this is a good roster. Even with the kind of a weaker defense here, I think they could improve mid-season. Yeah, I'm excited to see how well this group does. So I think we'll call it there for the video today. Thank you for watching, and thank you for sticking it out. And I'll catch you guys in the next NHL 2023 Management Mode video.